What is up, everyone? Michael Damon back with you with the latest episode of Starbeam.one's Stand Up and Shine. And Shill, we also Shill here from time to time. It's a series I put together to keep you up to date with Starbeam.one, my project I've been working on for over 3 years now. I'm very proud of it. And this is a weekly check-in to kind of let you know what I've been working on, what I'm going to be working on, and any sort of friction points that I'm encountering. Let's begin. Program notes. Okay, so starting out the show here with pertinent details worth mentioning, and first one is we're back. Took like a 3-week break there unintentionally. I could not film with the recording software that I'm using due to a licensing issue, and that has been addressed. So shout out to Videocom out there, who has been really great with their support and getting me back on track here with a valid license. Used to be XSplit Presenter, but now it's Videocom Presenter, and I got everything all set up, and now we're able to film, and I can get back to you with these semi-weekly updates. In moving on from there, we're in Alpha 1 now, and moving on to Alpha 2, I'm going to get into what I'm working on here recently, and I just kind of want to go over some stats here of just the Discord members we have. 42 Discord members. Our Discord is kind of where everything is happening right now, and we're up to 13 artists and 20 collectors. So things are moving along quite well, and kind of ahead of schedule where I was anticipating it. But yeah, really excited about it, and we'll continue here with the dashboard. Okay, dashboard, more statistics. If you're interested in statistics, and I kind of want to do a quick jump here on the front page, because there's this is all time, still at Alpha. We just started in August. So, I've been developing this for 3 years, and we really didn't start onboarding artists or making sales until this past August. So what is that? That's like almost 3 months here. And, is that towards the end of August as well? So almost 250 sales and $80 in total value. And so that's the front page. If you want to go to the dashboard, you don't even have to be logged in. You can just click here on dashboard, go to the hamburger icon up here at the top, and click the dashboard as I just did. So I demonstrated, and it'll take you to this page where it kind of shows you like how much traffic we're getting. We've had just, we're doing pretty good with traffic right now. I would say, because for the longest time we were just doing maybe 10 people a day sort of thing. And now it's easily between 50 and 100. And so we're doing pretty good with that. And you can see we now have 50 user accounts. You can see the breakdown of all of the different identity providers that we're using. Twitter by far is the most popular. And scrolling down a little bit further, you can see the product definitions. We're doing, quite a bit. So we have 631 licenses that we've issued so far, and as you saw there at the front page, we're reaching up to 250 or so to be sold. And so we're trying to, recently, I'll get into this a little bit with what I did or what I've been working on, but we recently changed the way things are published right now, and it's helping out with that backlog. So we had an obsolete system that I had in place 3 years ago, and it does not work for today. It's one of those things that look good on paper, and it's no longer there. And now we're on a system now where, as you can see, we've got our product definitions, and we're basically producing one license per issuance now. And the way that it works is that you get one license, and if you can prove that you sell that one license, then you get 2 licenses. And that's how we're doing things. So things are much more natural and organic, and we don't have so much glut in the inventory for the backlog now. So that's how much we've got available. Here's where we got what we've actually sold, and you can see here, we're doing basically $1 a day right now. So we're getting about $1 of sales, a little bit more than that, maybe 4 or 5 sales right now per day. It's 25 cents per license that we're doing. So this might not seem like a lot, but it's more than I was doing 3 or 4 months ago. So it's pretty exciting to have that, and it's all working without exception. I always knock on wood when I say that, even though there aren't any exceptions. You got that feeling that it's just right around the corner sort of thing. But we did have a resale here. We had a really pretty impressive resale of $2, because that license was for sale for 0.76, I believe. And so there was like 150 something markup, 150% markup. So that was pretty impressive. And then we could scroll down here to our accounts receivable. So this is how we pay our bills. A certain percentage of every sale goes into that account there. And this is how much we have in circulation. And that all looks good. So again, scrolling to the bottom here, I always kind of, like I mentioned before in previous episodes, I always get kind of nervous scrolling to the bottom there, because that's supposed to equal 0, and it is. So next slide here. Okay, so what did I do? So many tasks, really. Just can't, it's 3 weeks I'm catching up here, but we've been onboarding collectors and artists, and I've been trying to get into documentation and getting a wiki, establishing a wiki, site improvements, and then really everything I've been doing right now is focusing on artists, because there's been a lot of onboarding artists, and they're the start of the engine, right? Like they're the ones that produce the content. You can't buy anything unless you have the content to buy, right? So there's been some feedback and some tasks, and I'll get into it into the next slide here of just certain stories and tasks that we wanted to have in place to help facilitate that process. And so we've got a story, and I'll explore that in the next slide here. And it's almost done. I would say probably had another week or so. But it's basically just focusing on artists right now and fixing bugs and addressing that. And so, getting back to that publishing, it's called Plasma, and I'll post a link to the wiki for this in the comments for the YouTube video here. But the Plasma is the Plasma system is an organic system. So before I was doing waves, and it was a really cool idea. Like when I started this 3 years ago, and I was just like, I'm going to make it so that, the whole idea, and first off, is that any artist, any starving artist particularly, that doesn't have a lot of money, can just saddle up to the bar and start selling product, right? And do it in an organic fashion. And I wanted to make it so that you can prove that you can sell something before you're able to sell more. And the way that I did it is that, well, you prove that you sell one license, and then I multiply that by 10. And then if you can sell that many licenses, and you multiply that by 10, and then you keep adding, well, it turns out that's a really large number, especially when you're just starting off and trying to gain traction with traffic here. And it was just a huge challenge. So now we're just doing it where it's just one license, and then you have enough capacity to do one license for 5 days. And then once you prove that you can sell that one license consistently over a 5-day period, then you get upgraded to 2. And then the process, continues from there. So it's more organic, and it's a little more pleasant on the backlog of inventory that's available as well. So there's a lot of problems that it solves. Pretty happy with it. And we had our first 2 license issuance a couple of days ago, and that sold out. So, it's kind of encouraging. Of course, that what happened the next day is you issued 2 and only 1 sold. So there's still challenges. We're still trying to onboard collectors as well. And that's kind of the major pain point right now, is like, getting back to the producing content. Now we need to sell that content. So you got the producers and the consumers. Now we need those consumers to consume the content. And boy, it is just it's a challenge, right? It's just the biggest challenge I've ever faced in my life. And, I'm up for it. It's kind of excited to see if I can actually do this. And it's not just me. I've got, everyone that's on board. We're all kind of starving artists here, and we're all having something to prove, and we're just wanting to have this work. And so that's the next thing, is how do we get collectors on board? And so, kind of a good point there to move on to the next slide here. So what are we doing? And just getting back to, collectors, if you know any collectors, I've mentioned before, I've got the early collector special program in place, and your purchases are guaranteed until a year from now. And, you can purchase $5 worth of product up to a year, and I will buy them back from you if you are not happy in a year. And what that means, I try to stay away from like investment language and whatnot, but it comes down to resale value. And that's kind of the primary motivator here is, why would someone buy one of these licenses? Well, you can resell them. And that's the whole point of, what NFTs introduced, is this notion of resell and reselling a digital property or a digital asset, which is what we're doing here. And that's, if you buy something now and you can't resell it for a higher value in a year, well, I will buy it back from you. So you cannot lose either way. So you retain your value, and you retain that money, and you get that back if you are not happy in a year. So that's kind of what we're doing. And, I mentioned it before, and I'll also leave that in the link in the description here, in case you're interested. Okay. So that's kind of going way off of script here. Just kind of look, it's been 3 weeks, so you have to excuse me as I brush off the dust here and try to stay on task. And right now I'm working on those primary marketplace features, and as you can see, I have all these tasks that are just done for artists. So we had this cover image of being able to modify the covers. The main problem that we had 2 or 3 artists that is the first thing that they did is they issued it just like an NFT, and they had their cover the same as their primary product. And then that's not what we're doing here. We're doing different from NFTs, because NFTs is public, right? And it's a major challenge because it's easier this way, right? It's easier to see the image. It's easier to see what you're selling, and and it's easier to publish and to make it visible and to view it. And what we're doing is we're hiding it first, and we're protecting it. And we protect it, and you cannot view the actual image that you buy until you buy it, just like a CD, right? So it's a completely different model, and it does pose problems. It does pose challenges, and so we're encountering those, right? And so people they upload their featured image as the cover, and it's not how it works. So we need the ability to change the cover, and we do have that now. So now, if you do accidentally upload a wrong image, or you don't like the image that you uploaded, or you didn't upload an image and you need to upload an image, you can do that now. So that's a huge improvement with our storefront, and that was implemented this morning, and I'm going to have a few artists go through and repair some of their products there and get that as expected. And what else here? We've got promotion exception checker, and then we've got our like I said, so now we also check for the cover, making sure that the cover is not the featured image, and if they are, I remove the cover, and it shows a help prompt for you, and you can go check that out for more information. And then we also got synchronization going on with watermarks. So if you remove it, we had a problem where you upload a primary image and it would watermark it for you, but that wasn't the image I wanted to upload, and so you remove that image, and the watermarked image that you had there to begin with was already there. Just so many different challenges, and they're all fixed now. So that was put in place. And then cover resizing. There was a problem when you upload a large cover. If it's over like a megabyte or 2 or 3 megabytes, well, social media sites don't share. They won't share over a certain size limit. And so I had to go through and make sure that we resize a certain size so that it could be shared. And so now we've got that in place. And then I believe that is all the major things for artists. So it's really all about artists. And then moving on from there, it's sort of, maybe I should put this in the what did I do, because I'm kind of going over that as well. Again, it's just 3 weeks just brushing off the dust here. But now we're going to be working on is recalling issuances, right? So now there's a problem where, we made a license and it's horrible. There's something wrong with it, and I don't want it visible. Well, you can delist it, but then you got to go through and resubmit all the information for it. And so now what this recall does is it basically destroys it. It just says, okay, destroy everything that's out there, but keep a definition. And because right now, if you delist something and you still have the definition, it won't let you republish, because that definition is basically, it's technically still available. You can still purchase it. It's just delisted. It's just removed from the storefront, or from the marketplace. Now, this will remove it and destroy it so that you can reissue it again using the same definition. So there's that. And then finally, there's a story of purchase acknowledgments where once someone purchases something from you, you can say thank you. And this is something I've been doing personally to each and every one of our collectors right now. And, it's a chore of love, and I absolutely love doing it. But at the same point, I think it'd be better if you actually heard that from the artists themselves. And so now that's going to be a little bit more involved. Basically, it's going to be establishing a CRM, customer relationship management. And so there's that task. And then after that, we're going to be working on improvements around the Star Vault and the collection and things of that nature. So hopefully that catches you up to date with everything that is happening, everything that's been going on, and everything that's going to be that I have planned. Friction points. Oof. Man, I just, I keep saying that it's been really good with friction point. I hadn't encountered a lot of friction points right now. You compare this to like in February or March, it was terrible, right? Everything that could have gone wrong was going wrong, and nothing seemed to be working. I was combating problems with the tooling. I was combating problems with Azure. I still have some problems with Azure, but actually I should probably list a problem with Azure that has kind of popped up. It's not that major. The problems I were encountering back in February, March were really major. They were really bad. But now I've got the same ticket from Office 365 that's been going on since March. It's been going on forever, and it's actually getting better. It has been escalated. It has been escalated to an escalation engineer. They have these, and it turns out. And so, and I'm starting to hear things like, yes, wait, what it is? This is a bug. And I'm starting to hear things, some confirmation and affirmations that, yes, this is a bug after all this time. Because I'm basically, the whole point of this was that it's an issue between how, Azure, it has actually nothing to do with Azure, but they're saying that there could be a way that Azure could fix this. So we're going to see how this turns out. But right now, basically, the gist of it is that Office 365 does not support Office accounts, personal live accounts. You call them personal, but you can attach a corporate email to them. It's very confusing, I know, but they don't support that. Every other Microsoft product supports this, right? But Office 365 does not. And you can assign, this is the sticklers, that you can assign a license to that email. you can assign a license and you get charged. You start getting charged on a monthly basis, but no one can use it. You can't use that license, so it just sits there charging you. You're getting charged money every month for that $12 or however much that license costs, and you can't use it. And so it's like, why are you charging me for something I can't use, sort of thing? And that's kind of the gist of it. And it took forever. It took forever to land where we are now. And, here we are. So now this is actually looking encouraging now. And this might be a resolution. We'll see. That's why I put a little question mark there. We're going to see how this turns out. And so the other is Facebook, right? So I had a problem with Facebook, and it's mostly resolved now. And you hear a lot about the Facebook Meta is what they're calling it now. The layoffs, and you could just tell, right? Like, I had been in their developer forums and their posts now for it was probably like 2 or 3 weeks, and no one there understood exactly what I was saying. No one there was doing a job. It was really impressive to see how many people I talked with that had no idea what I was talking about, and they really didn't seem like they wanted to care about actually fixing it either. And so, just really a huge friction point. It's over now. I haven't really talked with Facebook in, ever since that. And this is actually put in like, I think 3 weeks ago when I was about to do that episode. Now it's okay. I should probably remove it, but I just kind of wanted to have one last jab at Facebook or Meta, whatever you want to call it. They have layoffs now. They're very understandable based on my experience with them. But, I don't know if I'm going to be supporting Facebook. The long story short here is that, they're so dysfunctional. I don't know if I'm going to enable that behavior, sort of thing. So I do have Facebook support, but what it turns out, the reason, kind of the long story short here is that I had Facebook support for starbeam.one, and you could sign in with a Facebook account, and then all of a sudden I had it working, and it was verified by 2 different people, and one of my accounts included, and all of a sudden it just stopped working. It was working, and then it stopped. And so it took 5 weeks of being in their system to figure out what that was. And so it took 5 weeks. And there was no telemetry, there was no warning, there was nothing. And this was my bug. This is what, after we figured it out, I filed another bug that said it takes 5 weeks to figure out what's going on with your program, with your APIs, before anyone finds out what's going on. That seems like a bug to me, and you should get that fixed. And then it was just, one, and I opened it up like 3 or 4 times because they kept closing it. And that's another thing that they do, is that they don't really respond to things. They close it, and they want you to respond back to them. And so it's just this weird workflow, and it just seems very like, we don't want to talk to you, go away. And I kind of I'm just like, I don't really want to enable you guys, or your dysfunctional behavior. We'll leave you over there. Effectiveness level. Okay, so this is kind of like a efficiency level, kind of meets emotion, like how am I feeling about the project, and it's better. And, when I was doing this 3 weeks ago, I was at a 1.5, and now I'm at like a 5.5. Like, I'm actually getting a lot done now with code, and I've kind of adjusted to the whole marketing thing. Got a little bit of groove. I'm not entirely happy with it because it just basically involves me retweeting things all day, and that's okay. And everything's really automated right now, which is kind of actually really cool. It's very cool that I have this really cool automated reporting system whenever an issuance occurs or whenever a sale occurs, but I don't know how effective it is, right? Like, people see it. Well, who knows? I mean, we're up to 52 followers right now on Twitter, and my follower count is doing really well right now. I'm getting about 5 new followers a day, which I'm really happy with right now. So maybe it is working. It is kind of a lot of work, and it is repetitive, but maybe, just enough people are seeing it to where it's being effective. So maybe I'll put that in place. But it also, there is a routine around that, and I've adjusted. So we'll see. I talked myself out of that, didn't I? Maybe it's not so effective, but maybe it is, sort of thing. We're just small enough now to where, if you have something that's working just a little bit, you might not want to fix it, if it's not that broken, sort of thing. So anyways, 5.5, kind of in the middle, just a little bit better. It could be better, but that's where I am right now. All right. Tore right through that, didn't I? It was 3 weeks catching up and 20 minutes into it. Just wanted to thank everyone out there. We've got purchases $1 a day. Thank you to whoever is contributing to that $1 a day. Plus, I got 3 or 4 of my friends. They are collecting daily or semi-daily, and it's just amazing. I almost don't want to jinx it, and I posted something on Facebook, and everyone got really quiet after that. It seems like whenever I brag about how many sales we're doing, we get really quiet for a day or so after that. So maybe I should stop doing it and just enjoy the ride. I know. An echo in my head. Everyone will say that too, but I can't help myself. You work on something for 3 years, and then see how well you do. Try and be quiet when things start working, right? And that's my boat, right? It's just been 3 years, and now everything's working, and it's awesome. And even if it's just $1 a day, like people would be like, dude, that's only $300 per year. You're not going to feed anyone on that, but it's a start, right? And it's something. And when I've been coding for 20 years, I'm more than happy with it. And, hopefully, in another year, if I'm saying it's $1 a day, then I will be in full agreement with you. But for now, $1 a day is perfectly okay with me, and I'm perfectly happy about it. All right. So with that aside, thank you for your support. Thank you for your purchases and any feedback that you may provide or have for me. Always available on Twitter. You can find me there in the QR codes there if you are daring enough to use those, or on Twitter in the description. I'll leave a link for you, and you can catch me there. Okay, thank you. Thank you for your time, and thank you for your support. Until next time, stay bright and stay safe out there. Goodbye.